A function is a relation with only one output for every one input. This means that for every one x we put in, we can only get one y out for it to be a function. Well, when we have a graph, there's a simple way we can test to see whether our graph is the graph of a function or not. You can simply use what we call the vertical line test. The vertical line test means that if you can draw a straight line through it and it only touches one point, it is a function. If it touches more than one point at one time, it is not a function. So here we have 4 examples, and we're going to find out whether our graphs are the graphs of functions or not. Example 1, I can simply have my ruler and go through. Or you can use your hand and go through in a straight line and make sure that it only touches one time in each x. And it does. And if you see, if I go through my ruler only touches my line only once. So we say this is a function. Example 2. Here we have this graph of y equals plus or minus the square root plus and minus the square root of x. We're going to simply use square root of x. We're going to simply use our ruler and see if it's a function or not. So when I go through with my ruler, or you can use your fingers if you don't have a ruler, and make a straight line. When I go through with my ruler, I see that for my input of -4, I have 2 outputs. I have an output here and an output here. Actually, this is a graph of plus or minus negative square root of x minus 6. And for my input over here at 6, I still have 2 outputs. So this is not a function. When I do a straight line with my finger, I touch it in 1, 2 places. 1, 2, not a function. I can only have, remember, one y for every one x for it to be a function. One output. So we're going to write not a function. Here I have the graph that is the relations of a set of points. So looking at this, I would simply go through with my ruler, go through in a straight line with my finger, and to see whether it touches it in more than one place or not. So when I go through with my ruler, that touches it only one time, that touches it one time, but when I get here, I'm in trouble. I have a point for the same x here and here. So for when x is -1, I have a point at 1 and at 2. So this is not a function. Let's do our last example. Simply go with your finger and make a straight line. If it touches it, if it has more than one output, it's not a function. If it only has one output, it is a function. So I simply go with my hand, trace, only touches it one time, I'm good there. And for that point, it only touches one time. So this is a function. So now you know a simpler way to check whether your graph is the graph of a function or not. Simply go through and see if you have only one y for every one x.